What is going on? Welcome to the channel. My name is Sean Jorgensen. I am a Las Vegas based creative, freelance photographer and videographer. This is something a little different for me. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a while now, putting more time into YouTube, just showcasing a different medium, I guess you would say. I wanted to go through a few recent projects I'm excited to show, even some recent 35mm film. Let's jump right into it. The first project I want to kind of show off was a cocktail shoot for a local bar here in downtown Las Vegas. They're called Velveteen Rabbit. Now, I've worked with them before. Both ladies are lovely, Christina and Pam. I've worked with them quite a bit over the last few years, so it's always exciting to kind of have that relationship with a client that you're familiar, they're familiar with you. So it's just a really good relationship that I've built with them two ladies and the rest of the staff. This shoot in particular, I wanted to use my constant lights, the Amaranth 200X, and I wanted a hard shadow look. I believe I started off with shooting with snoots. For some of them, I even went no modifier at all. The shoot was fun. We had 3 different models involved, but the focus was on hands and detail, so there wasn't really the models' faces themselves. I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's vibrant, but it still has a rigid, grainy feel to it. For this one, I brought a lot more equipment than I ever needed. I brought the Godox tube lights, I think they're the TL60s. I brought 2 of those. I brought 2 of the Amaranth 200Xs, which I believe I only used 1 for almost everything. I was gonna shoot tethered so the client can see it in real time and kind of tweak things, but I realized the tethering cord I had on me was not correct for my Canon R3. That kind of sucked. It's all good. Got to be nimble. Got to make decisions on the fly. Be able to show the client the photos, which is always an important aspect as a photographer, as a videographer, as a business. You want to make sure that the client is seeing what you're shooting, what you're showing off. That way they can give their input, give their tweaks, and there's no surprises. And really quick, because I love coffee so much, and I just want to show off that this week's roast is some beautiful stuff from Stumptown, the Founders Blend. I love their coffee. I always get it every time I swing by Whole Foods. And I picked up the other one, it's caramel. Shout out to Stumptown, keeping me caffeinated. I'm a big coffee guy. I'm not a coffee snob. I just like trying different coffees, and I like different flavors, and I like to consume it at all hours of the day. So cheers. Maybe kind of incorporate, my interests into these videos. Yeah. Next project, I want to showcase Mayfair Supper Club, which is a restaurant and show located inside Bellagio. It was all film, so that always gets my creative dick hard. I've worked with MGM quite a bit over the recent years directly, which is always exciting when they present a project. They're familiar with my film work and want dancers, some cocktails, and just ambiance within Mayfair. And I'm really happy. I shot about 7 rolls of film for that shoot, and obviously some are dark and don't come out. But I think overall, I'm really, really happy with the results. We went backstage to the dressing room with some of the ladies and even the male cast members. There is a couple shots of the girls putting on makeup, touching up their hair, lacing up their boots, and even the contortionist, kind of stretching and warming up. Pip was the main dancer. She was great. She instantly loved the camera as soon as I introduced myself to her. She heard we were doing film. She just turned it on. That's always great when your subject knows what they're doing, knows how they look, and just loves the camera. For the cocktails, I lit these up with the Godox tube lights, TL60, something real simple. Just throw a little splash of light at it, knowing that I'm shooting on film and I want every advantage I can. We shot this during their run of show, normal dinner service. This was their staff performing their nightly routines. There was real people in there, customers, and I'm just in the dark, finding my corners and trying to be quick, leave a small footprint, and get my shots I need without really kind of disrupting dinner experience. I think these turned out really, really well, and I hope that I can get more projects on film moving forward, especially in the, like the casino and the nightlife lane. I think that's an untapped market. The third project I want to talk about about is a food shoot. This is digital. This was for a restaurant here in town, Al Solito Pasto. This was another shoot that I used the Amaran 200X on with a strip box. And I believe I used one light on these. I love doing food shoots. It's always a challenge. It's always a fast-paced environment. I've shot for Chef James Trees before at his other restaurant, Esther's Kitchen. Very, very good spot. So I was excited when they brought me back to shoot for his other restaurant. They want them dark. They want them pretty warm. So that obviously aligns with my personal editing style anyway. I'm all for it. I think it does kind of stand out a little bit more versus, the traditional food shoots. The next project was the Encore Beach Club staff photos before pool season opened. That was another film one. Mike Kirschbaum, who I do the podcast with, he was hired to shoot their staff photos for pool season that opened up here in March. Some conversation opened up about film, and Mike was like, hit up Sean, he does film, he'll crush it. That was exciting. I believe they are going to turn the film photos into like a coffee table book. Mike and I had about 65 girls to shoot. We had a big 8-foot scrim. The sun was constantly moving. So that was a bit of a challenge, and film, as expensive as it is, I kind of just, popped in for a few, tweaked a couple things with the girls, kind of get in there quick and dirty, do the best I can. Obviously, I want to represent the talent. I'm not trying to take a bad photo of anyone, but at the same time, time is of the essence. I'm an add-on in this case. I was also Mike's lighting grip. I was juggling his second pair of eyes and hands. We had the lights or any tweaks like that. Then I was able to jump in there, pop off some film, jump back to wearing my assisting hat. Mike and I obviously have a really good relationship since we do our podcast together, patent pending. Mike was shooting tethered to the laptop, which I was QCing. And then he also had it through Capture One. He also had an iPad so the client could walk around or have the iPad watch it as well. That was a really fun shoot, assisting Mike and also jumping in there to shoot some film. So that's about it as far as recent projects, but it also is nice for me to just look back on these things, reflect. It's something that I've been wanting to do, more talking to the camera, more showing off day-to-day work life, my workflow, things like that. Hopefully I'll be able to carve out more time to do these ones. Thanks for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed, and tune in next time. Cheers.